Hey, everybody, welcome to This Is In. This is the show where AARP Indiana, where we talk to you about things that are happening in Indiana, especially in our local communities. Joining me, I'm Jason Thompson, by the way. I'm the communications director for AARP Indiana. I don't think I mentioned that. Joining me, Addison Pollock.
Jason, how are you? I'm
I'm
the
good.
Director of Community Engagement, folks. It's good to be with you.
It is good to have you here. It's good to be with all of you. It is our favorite time of year here at AARP because this is when we're getting to really get into it and really help out some of our local communities with the AARP Community Challenge. And Addison, why don't you give the folks at home, if you don't already know, what it is that the AARP Community Challenge grants and the program, what does it do?
Yeah, thanks, Jason. So the AARP Community Challenge Grant Program it's a program that's been around since I started here at AARP. Soon after I started here in 2017. So this is the sixth year of the grant program, and it's designed to make our communities across the nation more livable for people of all ages. And by doing that through quick action improvements to community that jumpstart long-term change. So these typically include tangible projects that will have a lasting impact in communities. So they're available for nonprofit organizations, government entities, local government entities, and other entities as appropriate. But yeah, it's been around since 2017, as I mentioned. The national AARP program has given out over 800 grants, totaling more than $9.3 million across 600 communities. And we've reached a population of about 108 million people with these grants. So it's no small potatoes. It's something that, as Jason mentioned, we're very proud of. It's something that we love to do, especially here in the state of Indiana, because as Jason will explain, we've made quite an impact here already.
Yeah, we have. So today, this being Wednesday, the 29th of June, I don't know when you're watching this. Maybe you're watching this a couple of days from now. I don't know. Either way, we have announced today that it's so AARP Indiana. There's going to be 5 organizations here in Indiana that are throughout the state that have been selected as a 2022 Community Challenge grantee. And this is part of the largest group that AARP has had to date, with $3.4 million awarded to 260 organizations nationwide. And so you're talking about, Addison mentioned how these are quick action projects, and these are to help with public places, transportation, housing, diversity, equity, and inclusion, digital access, civic engagement, like a whole wide range of things that and they have an emphasis on the 50 plus population, but they are for everybody, and it's a pretty great program. We've had a lot of good. Indiana's been fortunate to have a lot of grantees, I think, and it's just something every year we like talking about and seeing what new projects come through and what people are doing in their communities, and that's what makes the program so great.
Most
So I
definitely.
think without further ado, let's start talking about the 2022 grantees. I'm going to bring up a little. There we go. It's the 2022 Community
I
Challenge. You
love it.
guys already knew that. But let's start with our first one here. We're going to go from north down to the southwestern part of the state. And our first one up it's from an organization, Health by Design, who's actually based here in Indianapolis, but they work across the entire state of Indiana. And this project is up in Fort Wayne. Addison, you've spent some time up in Fort Wayne. You can talk a little bit, maybe you can talk a little
Yes.
bit about this project that's going to be with the Wells Street corridor up there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So I actually had a chance to learn all about this project when I was up in Fort Wayne, because I used to do a lot of work up in Fort Wayne with our volunteer team up there. I was briefed on this project when the Wells Street Corridor group was considering partnering with Health by Design to apply for the Community Challenge grant. And really, what this does is, if you're not familiar with Wells Street or Fort Wayne, Wells Street is just a historic street that connects the downtown of Fort Wayne with neighborhoods to the north. So it's kind of has that pre World War II design to it. It's very walkable. Like storefronts are like right on the street. It's very cool corridor, but it's a somewhat distressed neighborhood, certain parts of it. So, or the corridor at least. And I think that what this grant was attempting to do, or is attempting to do, is to provide a little bit of activation around some of the assets that already exist along the corridor. So, really trying to activate unused spaces with new seating, planters, and just other beautification tactics to draw attention to the greatness that is the Wells Street corridor. So I'm really excited to see how this one unfolds, and I know the Fort Wayne volunteer team is as well.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of right in the wheelhouse of what these what these grants are all about, with regards to what they're doing and kind of connecting neighborhoods and places. So that's all right, cool. So that's Fort Wayne. Moving on now, I'll talk about this one.
Awesome.
The organization is the Heart of Lebanon, and so they are an organization that is kind of the heart of Lebanon. They're working in downtown Lebanon to try to bring folks in. And what their grant is they asked older residents, so they have these dozens of events downtown, and they've interviewed and they reached out to some of the older residents that were participating in these events in downtown, and asking them kind of what would make it more enjoyable for them. And so a lot of what their feedback is that they got was a lot of folks it was sometimes difficult at these events when you had to bring your own chair. And so it was hard for folks to maybe get around and those types of things, and lug their chair to and from where they wanted to go. And so the Heart of Lebanon has created this thing they're going to use this grant money to create what they're called the Helping Hub, which is going to be a cart essentially that will have folding chairs and kind of collapsible chairs that so folks wouldn't have to bring their chairs with them. They'll just be able to take one of these chairs off the cart. The cart's also going to have umbrellas that people can use to shade them from the rain, obviously, because that's what umbrellas do, or the sun. And so you have that as well. And they're also just going to put other information about programs that are available for older adults in the community. So it's it's a smaller project, if you will, but at the same time, kind of an interesting idea of how to get the feedback from your older population, and then put something together to help them make their events when they're downtown more enjoyable. So that's
Definitely.
the Heart of Lebanon project.
Yeah, I just want to mention that I agree. This is a super creative project. It was one of those grants where we grant applications where we were kind of like, wow, what is this? This
Yeah.
is new, and it's a unique idea. And I think that it just really left a great impression on us. And we love the listening, that went into this. So the
Mhm.
city was listening to its residents. That's something AARP tries to do. So we thought that this was a great one to fund, and it's the first one for the city of Lebanon, which
Yeah.
is
So
notable.
that is good, as well as, and that's the thing too, is that with these projects is because they're not, some of them are small dollar amounts that making a big difference. Some of them are large dollar amounts that are making a big difference. But the ability to deploy these projects or help folks that are working on these projects across the state, not just our larger communities, is part of the appeal of this whole program. I think that's a great point about the fact that this is Lebanon's first foray into the Community Challenge Grant.
For sure.
Um, so next up is kind of another community we hasn't seen something from us, at least from a Community Challenge Grant standpoint, and that is Anchor House. And I can take this one as well as talk a little bit about this one. So this is Anchor House has a food pantry, is part of their organization, and something that they're doing with their funding is creating an awning at their food pantry so that the shoppers that are coming through can get out of the rain, the snow, the sun, to just provide that shelter from the weather when they're shopping. And I think it's something that in a previous life, before I joined AARP, did some work with the local food pantry, and that was always something that this idea kind of hit close because I was the food pantry that I was working at. We didn't have that, and it was always something where when folks are the shoppers are waiting to get in, and it's hot outside or the weather's not great, that you have that awning there or some sort of shelter where folks can stay out of that is it's important. And so that is a great project to see. The grant's also going to go to an art installation as well as to increase some Latino community outreach in Jackson County. So I think that over they're kind of stretching those dollars across some of that, but that's what Anchor House is what they're going to do.
Yeah, another really important project hits on an issue that we really have we've worked on to varying degrees over the years, which is food security and just making sure that it's also has to do with public spaces too. Making sure that these are welcoming public spaces, and yeah, another first timer, Seymour, Indiana. So
Yeah.
somewhat of a more rural community. So we're really excited to be able to get outside of the more urban areas and into the smaller communities across
Yep.
Indiana.
All right, so I'm going to let you take this next one because this is, and you'll get into this. Is this project is going to be made available because of our friends at Toyota North America, which is now this is kind of the second time we've gotten to engage with them. And so I'm gonna let you talk about this one as well as kind of the connection to another project that we have in Indiana that Toyota has engaged with us before.
Definitely. Thanks, Jason. So, Blue River Services Incorporated is located in Corydon, Indiana. They are a recipient of another community challenge grant for expanding transit service in Floyd County. So that's really great. We, as many people know, transportation is a huge issue that we work on with AARP at AARP Indiana, whether it be public transit or fixed route, or maybe it's on-demand transit, more so what Blue River Services provides. And what's cool about this project, as Jason mentioned, is that it is being partially funded by Toyota, which they had partnered with us in Evansville on providing a vehicle to the Carver Community Organization last year. And that project was intended to, it was called the Vehicles for Vaccine Outreach. So it was intended for Carver Community Center to provide free rides to the folks that it serves in the Evansville area to their doctor's appointments to get their vaccines, their follow-up vaccines, and then the vehicles can then be used for other essential services going forward. So I love seeing this, sort of sequel to the or the next phase of this Toyota partnership. We really think that it's an awesome way to make a big splash in our communities.
Yeah, and so thanks to Toyota for their involvement and really kind of getting in the mix on it on these projects and helping with the expansion of transportation options for folks. We think it's great. And so the last one is in Evansville as well. I will let you take this one, Addison, as well, because you do a lot of work down in Evansville, and so we can talk about the Dream Center and what they're doing.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. And I'm really excited to talk about this one actually, because Evansville is a community, as Jason mentioned, that I work pretty closely in. I work pretty directly in Evansville with community partners, and we have a team of volunteers down there as well. This is the first time that Evansville has received a community challenge grant, which is big because we put a lot of time and effort into Evansville and making it a more livable community. So it's our pleasure to be able to fund and partner with the Dream Center on a project which will repair some infrastructure around the Jacobsville neighborhood. So this is about repairing crumbling curbs, sidewalks that are maybe not up to what they need to be as far as their condition, and the area also is home to a lot of older adults. So there's going to be updates to crosswalk markings, so making those crosswalks more visible for safety and aesthetic reasons. So it's really great, and this also is on following a complete streets policy that passed down in Evansville late last year. So this is all consistent with the work that we were doing around making streets safer and more accessible for people of all ages. So I want to commend the Dream Center for their application, and it was a pleasure to review it. And now we're happy to actually grant them the funding. So we look forward to working with them going forward.
Yeah, it's exciting that Evansville's gotten the mix on a community challenge grant now, and then I think you also combine this with the fact that it's the complete streets, and then that neighborhood, if I know if I'm correct, is also kind of right up against the area of where SWRCA, which is the area Agency on Aging, is kind of over there. So that a lot of I guess programming and things like that for older adults coming out of there. So it's kind of all in that area, and they're going to make it a little bit easier for folks to get around in. So exciting stuff.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, those are our winners. Congratulations to our winners. It's exciting. Like I said, this is one of our favorite things that we do each year is getting to do this and work with them. And we're gonna stay tuned, because coming soon in the upcoming weeks, we're gonna try to have conversations with all of our winners, talk to them about their project, what their organization is doing, and what these grants are going to be able to help them do in these projects, and what the impact is going to have on their organization and their communities. So that's going to be fun. We're going to try to do some updates as they're building things, or as it's going away, or as they're getting underway, as well as check back in with folks at the end of the year when their projects are complete, so we get to see the results of their hard work and are working with them. So it's a great program. We're excited. Excited to see what happens next too.
Yeah, it's a good bunch of projects. I'm looking forward to the one-on-one interviews that we'll be having with them, with each of the project coordinators, and stay tuned because they're coming up soon.
Yeah, it's going to be great. All right. Well, Addison, good talking with you as always. Once again, congratulations to our winners. And we look forward to talking to you all more about what we're doing in our communities and across the state of Indiana on This Is In. So until then, we will talk to you later.
Bye.